Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Center Grove Boys Basketball Show. I'm Kevin Conrad, your host of Center Grove Sports Network, along with Center Grove head basketball coach Cliff Hawkins. And, Coach, a special show today, a sectional preview, if you will, and we're right here in the West Gym, also kind of a special place to host the show.
Yeah, we really enjoy doing a lot of our preparation in this gym, and certainly we've done our majority of it this year here, but we practice in both gyms, and we're certainly looking forward to the sectional week getting started this next Tuesday.
I will say, Coach, this week the sectional here at Center Grove, Sectional 13, Class 4A, you'll get things underway Tuesday night, and then you move on to Friday night, Sectional Championship next Saturday. But before we talk about this week's sectional, big win this past Friday night at Terre Haute North for your squad.
It really was. It was a sustaining game. I mean, we had to stay with it. It was, they had a lot of energy and effort and enthusiasm. It was their last game for their two seniors that were on their team, and they had a great crowd. They had great student section, and we had a great following as well, and our players really had to focus through. We were down 10 points in the third quarter and battled back to get the lead and eventually win the game in overtime.
Also, your senior, Tyler Bryant, shot well again in this particular ball game against Terre Haute North. Hit a big three at the end of regulation, tied it, and hit a big three in overtime to seal the win.
You know, Tyler always just needs a little time to get his feet set, and I think that our guards are starting to do a little better job of delivering the ball when he needs it. You know, it's a fine line. I mean, it's a very fine line because we just really don't have the big, sturdy post man down low that we can kick it into and back out and so on and so forth. So we depend on our guards to find him when he's open. And last night, between our guards' recognition, Tyler's movement, and the screening that we did in the plays that we run for him, I thought that was some of the best execution we've had all season.
Also, Coach, you're getting some real quality minutes from your bench now here late in the season.
Well, we've started going with a four-guard rotation, and you know, at the point guard positions. I mean, we have a couple point guards out there at a time. That helps us with our ball handling. You know, against North Central, even though we were very unhappy in the first half, very unhappy to be behind, we still only had 5 turnovers in the first half. And the other night we went with this concept even more at Carmel, and we only had 2 turnovers. And last night at Terre Haute North, even though we turned the ball over in the first half, they were footwork problems. Our guards are doing a really nice job. And so what we've been doing is going 2 for 2 and being able to maintain the kind of defensive intensity that we would like. So that's why we're doing that. I mean, it allows our kids to know they're going to play hard, they're going to come out, they're going to get back in, and we think that's helping us a lot. It really helps our intensity.
Also, Coach, in this win against Terre Haute North on Friday, it was a short week for you. Monday night you had that makeup game against Carmel. You go to Carmel, you get home late on a Monday night, you come back on Tuesday and Wednesday to practice to try to prepare for Friday's game. So I think it says a lot about your team to bounce back on Friday to get this road win.
And it did take a lot of effort, and we spent a lot of time talking before we went to the game about we have to have the greater focus. And while I felt we had more focus lapses last night than we did at Carmel, I do feel like we had less focus lapses than they did. In other words, I think they lost Tyler when they didn't want to, you know, and I think we really buckled down, and as you move into tournament play, you want your team to be able to focus at its highest level, and then when you walk off the court with the last game, whenever that is, and you hope it's a long time from now, you know that you've done your best. And so we talk a lot with our players right now about focusing, competing, and attacking, and right now that's how we're playing.
Coach, also, you've got the sectional starting this week. Again, weather could be an issue, I know, going into Sunday into Monday, but you've had to deal with that all season long.
We have had to deal with it all season long, and certainly no matter what, the other 5 teams still have to get on a bus and come here if the weather's bad. And our kids just have to come from their home. And so we really should focus that we have the advantage of not having to wait for a bus to pull up, walking out in the bad weather. I mean, other than our situation of getting in from parking lots and so on. But, you know, the bottom line is you have to turn everything into your advantage. And while we may struggle with that, you know, the bottom line is we just have to keep working at our focus all the time, and no matter what the situation is, we need to respond.
Coach, let's take a closer look at this Tuesday night matchup. You're going to play the second game against Whiteland, a team you played earlier in the season, beat them by about 15, 20 points, but I know they're going to be a different type of team this time around.
Well, they're greatly improved, and I think all of us want to have our teams greatly improve as the season goes on. I mean, if we were to play our very best game, the first game of the year, and everything would be downhill, you wouldn't feel very good about that. And sometimes the results, the scores, don't always allow people maybe that don't study it to see the improvement taking place. And our team has continued to improve all throughout the season, even though there's times where we're not happy with the score. Well, you take that to Whiteland. Not only have they improved in terms of where their players are positioned and what they do with their offense and their defense, they've also improved in terms of record. I mean, they've won some outstanding games here of late, but, particularly the last few, they were able to defeat Martinsville, which has a nice basketball club this year, and they were also just the other night defeated Beech Grove, and they're a very good team. So certainly right now, as Whiteland enters the sectional, I know they're very focused on and are very happy with their improvement.
Also on Tuesday, Coach, another interesting matchup in that first one, Franklin against New Palestine. I kind of like this matchup.
Oh, it's an awesome matchup, and the sectional is every game is an awesome game, and that's the neat thing of the Indiana tournament. And obviously some of us remember when it was one class, and we loved all the local rivals. One thing that makes our sectional special, I think different than others, we still have quite a local flavor to the sectional, which builds some great matchups. Now, New Pal's the one that had to come the distance, but still they play all of us during the regular season, and I think they've gotten into feeling like they're part of the sectional field. Where you take a team like Terre Haute North, they've got to come all the way to Avon to play Brownsburg on Tuesday night, and it's only one game. So the sectional feel is so different for them, where for us, it'll be a full house on Tuesday night. I mean, New Palestine will support their team. They travel well. They've won some sectionals recently, so they're thinking that way. And obviously Franklin, has had a great season and wants to continue to improve. And I just think it could be an outstanding game. And what New Palestine has, Franklin will work to defend, and vice versa. I think it'll be a great game.
Coach, something you like to do is to schedule your sectional opponents during the regular season. I think you were 4-2 this year against your sectional opponents. A loss at Franklin and a loss here at home, a tough one to Franklin Central in double overtime. But you did split with Franklin this year, and you got Whiteland Greenwood as well.
Well, when we adjusted our schedule, one of the things we want to do is always put our sectional opponents early. I don't really enjoy, I think a tough situation. Greenwood and New Pal played each other, and if they had just last night, and if they had drawn each other in the sectional, I think that's really a momentum thing that can really work against someone. In our case, we try to get all of our sectional opponents prior to Christmas, and we just can't do anything about the county tournament, so we live with that. But we've always tried to schedule them early so we can learn some things, not only about ourselves, but something about our opponents in the state tournament field.
Also on Friday night, Coach, looking ahead a little bit, Franklin Central gets a bye along with Greenwood. Greenwood playing pretty solid basketball down the stretch, and of course Franklin Central always very solid.
Well, and Greenwood had a big victory, just the other night. They're shooting the ball extremely well. We scouted them both nights, and they're really hitting the three right now. So, obviously whoever would get them in the semifinal game is really going to have to defend their outside shooting. They're really shooting the ball well. And then in terms of Franklin Central, whether it be us or Whiteland, they have great size. They utilize their size. I think Lucas Huffman's an outstanding basketball player, and Franklin Central always brings an edge of toughness to the court, and we not only have to match that toughness, but we have to exceed it if we have that opportunity. So both of them, while there's some advantages to the bye, there's no question there's an advantage to the bye. The advantage of not having the bye is we've already played in the tournament, and it'll be, whoever plays Franklin Central, it'll be their first game and the opponent's second, the same way with Greenwood. So I think there is some advantages to getting started on the first night.
All right, Coach, hang tight. We're going to take a break and have more of the Center Grove Boys Basketball Show after this timeout.
Ray Skim's got your truck, man. Big and little trucks, man. Integrated locations, man. Skim's got your truck, man. He's got SUVs, crossovers, long bed, short bed, flatbed, dump cab, crew cab, in the cab, half-ton, three-quarter ton, one-ton, high cube van, cargo van, diesel engine, gas in stock, or custom in the color you want, man. Ray Skim's got your truck, man. Big and little trucks, man. Integrated locations, man. Skim's got your truck, man. Ray Skillman's got your truck, man.
Welcome back to the Center Grove Boys Basketball Show. I'm your host, Kevin Conrad, now joined by a couple of the varsity members. Got a couple of brothers with us, junior Anderson McCoy and also freshman Titus McCoy. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Anderson, we'll talk to you first. Coming off a great win this past Friday, Terre Haute North, overtime. Not an easy place to go down there, an hour and a half, and get off the bus and play a pretty good opponent. But this was a quality win for the Trojans.
Yes, we went up there, and even though it was a long ride, like you said, we just had to focus in and dial in on what we had to do. And came out there with a great win.
Talk about your play as of late, getting a chance to start and really bringing the energy for the Trojans.
Yes, sir. I provide a lot of energy, and so for the time that I'm in, playing defense, getting into people, I just have to play to my best abilities while I'm in there.
Anderson, this week, sectional, playing Whiteland.
Yes, sir.
On Tuesday night, a team you beat earlier in the season, but I know they're a different team. You guys are a different team, but I know you got to be excited about sectional week.
Yeah, every team gets better and better every week. So, we're looking forward to play a great opponent like Whiteland first game. So, Whiteland's always going to bring energy to wherever we go. So, we're lucky to play them.
How about this big win Friday? I'm sure it helps the confidence and get you ready to go.
Yes, sir. It's a big confidence booster that we had. So it's actually coming into sectionals with that confidence, it's really effective for us.
All right, we'll hand the mic over now to freshman Titus McCoy. And Titus, step up to the mic. And Titus, this is your first go around of being a freshman. I'm sure you got to be excited about this sectional opportunity.
Yes, sir. Just looking for a great opportunity out there and show my abilities.
I know you got a chance in football. You playing for the Trojans this year. You got a chance to run the ball, but so you do have some postseason tournament from football. But I know basketball, obviously a different sport. But just talk about the possibility of playing here on Tuesday night in your first sectional.
Tuesday night will be a very exciting game. Playing with my brother is just an awesome, awesome gift I could have. Tuesday, just come out ready with a lot of energy, like you said, coming out with that win Friday really boost our confidence, and going into sectionals with a win, it can really benefit a team.
And here in the last couple of games, you and Trevor Harrell, sophomore, coming off the bench, really putting the aggressive defense on out there.
Yes, sir. Just when we go in, we got just, can't let up. What Anderson and Joey do, that's just awesome. We can't let up, so we just got to keep it going.
Titus, what have you learned so much this year as a freshman playing varsity basketball?
It's a lot. You gotta be physical. You have to be mentally strong, and once you're out there, you gotta show your abilities and can't show fear.
That's exactly right. Gentlemen, thank you for being on the show. Best of luck in the sectional, and hopefully the Trojans get a sectional title.
Yes, sir.
All right. The McCoy brothers will have more of the Center Grove Boys basketball show after this timeout.
Ray Skim's got your truck, man. Big and little trucks, man. Integrated locations, man. Skim's got your truck, man. He's got SUVs, crossovers, long bed, short bed, flatbed, dump cab, crew cab, in the cab, half-ton, three-quarter ton, one-ton, high cube van, cargo van, diesel engine, gas in stock, or custom in the color you want, man. Ray Skim's got your truck, man. Big and little trucks, man. Integrated locations, man. Skim's got your truck, man. Ray Skillman's got your truck, man.
Welcome back to our final segment of the Center Grove Boys basketball show. Today we're not at Arnie's. We're here at the West Gym where the Trojans like to practice and play some of their games. And big week coming up for the Center Grove Trojans. Coach Hawkins now rejoins us. And Coach, sectional week, that's special in the state of Indiana. It means a lot. And you're going to host the sectional again this year, which is also a very special honor. But I know you guys have worked hard to get to this point in the season.
Well, we have. You play a lot of basketball games, and you have a lot of different tests that you have to respond to. And we've had a lot of different personnel this year, and part of it is basically just because of a consistency or lack of it at times. And yet, I think the thing that we are hanging our hat on is how hard we play and how hard we play defensively. And I think the last few basketball games, our kids have continued to do just a great job with that.
And Coach, we knew going into the month of February that down the stretch, the MIC was going to be difficult this year, but it sure was nice to get a win Friday to get that confidence going for the sectional.
It really was, and as you've seen, our personnel has continued to evolve. I mean, in that basketball game, in crucial moments at Terre Haute, we had a freshman, 2 sophomores, and 2 upperclassmen on the floor a lot of the game. And when we went down the stretch, I mean, the play that we had to stop them in regulation, we basically defended with a sophomore and a freshman helping, And so I think our team has grown, and I think the younger players have added some things to our team, and yet because of our leadership, our team is good together. And I'm telling you, we're really looking forward to playing, and certainly that win was helpful.
Coach, this past Saturday, the Center Grove Boys Basketball League had Championship Saturday right here in the West Gym. Just a great community event, just a beautiful day.
And thanks to you and all your coverage, I even had a few texts come throughout the day saying, hey, the stuff going on in the basketball gym today is awesome. The coverage is great, And I think you told us some special circumstances where there are people serving our country and in other countries, and because of what you did here today, they were able to see their son or a relative and so on. So how awesome is that? And congratulations to all of you and your crew on that. And then obviously congratulations to our Center Grove Boys Basketball League and the directors, and particularly President Mike Eckert and I think Bo Barrett and Rick Embry and Billy Bemis, I know, and many other directors just really kicked in and just made it a fantastic day.
I say, Coach, we had great support throughout the day for the championships. We'd love to see that support coming up this week for the Trojans here in the sectional.
It's something, a school like this that is not in a town square or those kinds of things. We have to build things to build that atmosphere of community. And that's one of the things. We used to play all these championship games in separate elementary gyms. I mean, you think how far we've come. And we've got this thing in the West Gym. We have coverage, on the web. I mean, it's just fantastic. And then you have all the community support and the silent auction and just everything going on, apparel to buy and Ray Skillman shootouts and mental attitude award winners. And there's just a ton of things going on. And again, that's a credit to our league and how we have grown. And I think it's a great community event.
Coach, to wrap up our show, you've been doing this now. This is your 33rd year. You know what it takes to win a sectional championship. What's Center Grove got to do this week to get that title?
I think the most important thing is that we realize that we have to take everything in segments. I think it's always important to establish how you want to play early in the game. You don't want to waste possessions. We want to get right to business. But for us, it still evolves around the word attack. We have to be the attackers. It revolves around the highest level of focus, that we're picking people up, that we've got shooters picked up, that we've got ball handlers stopped, that we've got big people off the board. And it takes a lot of focus. And then most importantly, your competitive heart. And so those are the things that we have to do. But, in tournament play, if you set a very small goal to try to win every quarter, you can never be beaten, okay? And that's tougher than said, but some of the great teams that we've had, and the team here a few years ago that went to the regional at Hinkle, we won 10 out of 12 quarters that year, and I think anytime you do that, you've got a real chance to put yourself in position. So we try to break it down in segments, understand the game's 32 minutes, and then realize when one game's over, you're getting ready for the next one. So really looking forward to it. I know this team has really worked hard to be in this position.
Coach, I want to finish up the show by thanking our sponsors. Arnie's Restaurant here in Greenwood, always doing a great job to support us, and also Ray Skillman Automotive Group.
It's been very nice. I mean, it's great today to be in the West Gym, but it was been very nice to be at Arnie's, and we appreciate them opening their doors to all of us to come in there and drink their Diet Coke and use their fireplace and all those kinds of things. And then, of course, what Mr. Skillman means not only to Center Grove athletics, but to the Center Grove community. He certainly is one person who's very generous, and I think it extends all the way through the staff that works for him, and we're very fortunate to have him as a sponsor for this show.
All right. Center Grove head coach Cliff Hawkins. Hey, best of luck this week in the sectional, hosting it here. It'd be great to get a sectional championship on Saturday.
Yeah, we would really like to cut down our nets.
Sounds
Okay,
great.
thanks.
Thanks, Coach, for being with us. That's going to wrap up this edition of the Center Grove Boys Basketball Show. For Coach Hawkins, I'm Kevin Conrad saying so long, everyone.